Ants are not born this color, they start completely white, and that changes everything about how they survive. Because what you are looking at here is not just growth, it's transformation. This is Ant Facts from Vaina de Hormigas. I am Oni Reikeki. Today we are breaking a major misconception in ant keeping. Ants are not born as fully developed organisms. They go through a vulnerable stage that most people completely overlook. And understanding this stage can completely change how you care for your colonies. When an ant emerges from the pupa, it enters a stage known as a callow. At this moment, the ant is completely white. Its exoskeleton is soft and it lacks structural resistance. That means it cannot defend itself, it cannot properly support weight, and it is not capable of performing high-risk tasks like foraging or hunting. Now think about this for a second. If this ant is so fragile, why doesn't it just stay hiding longer before emerging? Because emergence is not the end of development. It's the beginning of the final phase. After emergence, the ant begins a rapid internal transformation. Its body starts to harden, its muscles gain strength, and its pigmentation begins to develop gradually. This process can take hours or, in some species, a few days, depending on temperature, humidity, and metabolic activity. And here is something most people don't realize. The speed of this process is directly affected by your setup conditions. So let me ask you, are your environmental conditions helping or slowing this transformation? This process is called melanisation. Melanisation is not just about color. It is the chemical process that strengthens the exoskeleton and deposits pigmentation at the same time. As the cuticle hardens, it becomes more resistant to pressure, dehydration, and external damage. And at the same time, pigments are deposited, giving the ant its final color. So what you are seeing visually is actually a structural upgrade happening in real time. During this stage, callow ants do not leave the nest. They remain inside, protected by older workers, because they are at their most vulnerable state. They cannot regulate themselves properly. They are more sensitive to environmental changes and they are more likely to be injured. This is why colonies prioritize internal care before external activity. So now think about this. If your colony is exposing young workers too early, what does that say about your setup? Now let's look at real examples. In Pogonomyrmex, the transition from white to fully pigmented workers is clearly visible and happens relatively fast. In Acanthomyrmex, you can even observe variation in coloration between workers depending on their stage of development. This allows you to literally track the growth of your colony just by observing color changes. Same colony, multiple developmental stages happening at once. So, color in ants is not decorative. It is not random. It is a direct indicator of development, strength, and survival readiness. And once you understand this, you start seeing your colony completely differently.